All right, on this episode of Bare Knuckle Radio, very excited to be talking to an individual who's coming off of quite the impressive finish in the BKFC Prospect Series 3 main event, which went down on January the 27th. A finish over Noah Cutter at that 35-second mark, and happy to have Donald Sanchez on Bare Knuckle Radio to talk a bit about that. How's everything going, man? I mean, I imagine you're feeling pretty good after a win like that.
Yeah, man, I feel great. I hopped back into the gym this morning. I'm ready to rock. I just want to get in there and make my run at this.
And it seems like you'd be in a good position to do just that. I mean, starting off the year, so dominantly and succinctly, and it being so early in January and everything like that, and as far as like the company's kickoff card of the year. So, I mean, I think it would benefit you to having an active 2024, it would seem like.
I think so, man. I went out there, I didn't keep my mouth shut as much as I usually do throughout my career, and I opened up a little more, spoke up a little more, got what I asked for, and let's ask for more and get on these cards. I know they got a lot of cards planned out, and I hope to get on them and fight some tough dudes and make a crack at that belt or some big fights.
And I was reading an article a bit before this event, and it was talking about how much Albuquerque has become such a great market for BKFC, like just a really fervent audience. And it seems like the live gate figures are among like the biggest the company has done. And I mean, for you to get back-to-back finishes in the home crowd or in front of the home crowd rather, and everything like that in front of the Albuquerque faithful. I mean, so many moving parts here that I think would really benefit you in a lot of regards.
Yeah, man. It's a fight town for sure. People are very knowledgeable out here. We have tons of fighters, and they come from all around the world. So it's just everybody loves it. It's a fight town, that's for sure.
Yeah, and some other partisan excitement, justifiably, like Eric Dodson, for instance, scoring a quick victory. It seems like there's a certain kinship among a lot of the area fighters too, like Taylor Starling kind of seemed to come across in a similar way, talking very favorably. There's a cool kind of kinship to, Albuquerque and the fighters out there, it seems like. I mean, I think that even extends to the fans, just a great community overall, I suppose.
Absolutely, man. I train with the Dodson brothers. I don't know if you know Nick Gonzalez. He had a crazy knockout 2 cards ago out here too as well. And, we're kind of on a tear right now, and our team is doing good, and we bring a huge crowd, and BKFC knows that, so we're going to keep rocking with it.
Yeah, and I mean, not necessarily a stranger to the main event picture in general. I mean, you've done that quite a few times with mixed martial arts cards over the years, but can you just speak to your overall arc so far in BKFC? Because it seems like you're really growing in this sport at a fairly rapid rate, just with this being your 3rd bare knuckle fight and all.
Yeah, man. It's more of like coming back to my senses of where I began my mixed martial arts career. I was doing the wrong things, fighting on the streets, and obviously I was bare knuckle, and throwing hands like that. But now I've learned crafts, and I've gotten skills, and I did mixed martial arts, I did professional boxing, and now I can combine the two. And you definitely have to throw your punches different than you do in boxing and MMA in this. So it's crazy to say this, but it's just the beginning for me, and I'm just getting warmed up in bare knuckle, and I'm really liking it, and I'm looking forward to what I could do with this.
Yeah, for sure. And it seems like, I mean, I've heard this from a few MMA fighters at the very least. It seems like the bare knuckle stuff that they really enjoy is just like how easy, in a relative sense at least, it is on their body with the training, just in the context of the grappling injuries not being there. Have you kind of found that so far in your BKFC journey?
Absolutely, man. All the wrestling and jiu-jitsu and kicking and elbowing and everything and training for mixed martial arts it's pretty brutal on the body, on your joints, on everything. And boxing for me, training for just strictly boxing, it was kind of boring because it's very repetitive. Now bare knuckle it's not very repetitive. You still got to do those certain movements like MMA and everything, not on the ground, but the movements for your feet and everything, because it's a different movement and a different style of fight. So it's not as boring as I thought boxing was training wise, because we get to mix it up, but it's not as painful as training on the ground. All that wrestling, your lower back and bumping heads on the ground, breaking elbows, fingers, all that crap. So it's definitely, yeah, I like it.
Yeah, and I mean, such a wealth of experience. I mean, over 50 pro MMA bouts from what I'm seeing on Sure Dog. And you mentioned the gloved boxing, which per box rec, I'm seeing you've had 8 professional bouts and that discipline. So, I mean, you've obviously had a wealth of experience all throughout your combative endeavors here, but it also seems like certain work with BKFC cheat code and like that slaughterhouse team has kind of benefited you to a certain extent. I mean, obviously your individual effort drives the whole thing, but can you kind of speak to the people you've been working with in your BKFC journey so far?
Yeah, man. It's been great so far. You know, I have the slaughterhouse management, Gorilla, and all them guys. You know, Ryan and Shane, and I saw what they were doing with their fighters. I saw all their fighters on all the cards and everything, and I said, "Damn, I need to do this," you know, because I'm not no spring chicken. I'm almost 40 years old, so I need to get these in now. You know, while I'm good, while I'm healthy, while I'm mentally healthy, everything is great right now. So I saw it, and they didn't fail me right away. You know, they jumped on it and got me. And I'm definitely looking to the future. It's gonna be great with these guys. They have some pool. They have a lot of people. It's gonna be good. I can't say enough about it, and I'm glad I made that move.
And you were kind of talking about like the street fighting days kind of earlier on. I was also seeing at a certain juncture you were saying, like you were quoted as saying, "Oh yeah, you know, I thought I was a badass and I could jump right into MMA without amateur experience." But like kind of how we're talking about things now, you just seem very grounded and focused and disciplined. And I was seeing in some articles you're eyeing, you know, BKFC gold. Just all factors considered in this timeline, like do you feel you're at the best point in terms of like the experience, physicality, the mentality to be contending for a title? It would seem like a lot of things are in alignment for you.
Definitely in alignment, man. I have the following. I have the experience. I'm only getting better at this. You know, I could a couple more fights. It's definitely gonna be more experience for me, because I'm gonna learn every time. I'm the type of person that learns, and I strive to get better. So the more I get, the more dangerous I'm gonna be. Because I stay hungry, and I'm a man on a mission right now, so I'm going for what I want, and I can't wait to get it. So just give me my chance, and I'm coming for it, you know?
Yeah, because I was seeing in some other articles from previous interviews you'd done where you were talking about like, oh yeah, jiu-jitsu's always been the thing that's screwed me over. And I mean, you've got the back-to-back finishes now over Blake Lacaz and Noah Cutter. So, I mean, yeah, it seems like you're in that good discipline where you're not, you know, going to get taken down, and in that space, like it seems like you're in a very, you know, good realm and everything.
Yeah, man, I don't have to worry about... I was a decent wrestler, you know, I was decent at jiu-jitsu, but everyone's goal was not to stand up with me, and there was very few mixed martial arts guys that would stand up and trade with me. And their game plan was mostly take me down, you know. Obviously, I use that to my advantage to some good strikers, too, because my wrestling was good enough. But, yeah, overall, the wrestlers and jiu-jitsu guys were my kryptonite for sure, you know. But I still took the fights no matter what. I just wanted to fight. I didn't care. You know, I took tons of last-minute things, and that's what prepared me for to be smarter and do things different as the older I got, you know, wiser.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, just kind of focusing on that recent fight with Noah Cutter. I mean, like I said earlier, succinct ending and everything of that nature. I mean, did it play out kind of as you thought it would? Like, did it play out to your preconceived notions? Or I guess how did that all unfurl relative to what you thought heading in?
absolutely. I visioned it. I trained for it. I trained what we did. It's crazy. I have a friend, and he called me the day before, and he's like, "Man, this is what you got to vision. You got to finish this fight in 30 seconds." I placed a bet on it, and I was like, "Bro, yeah, it could happen, but I got to feel this dude out." Noah's still a dangerous guy. He had a lot of experience. He knows how to punch. He knows how to take punches, and I definitely visioned the knockout, but I didn't envision it that fast. And he called me screaming at me afterwards. He's like, I told you. And I was like, I need to believe in myself more like that,
Is that something that also manifests? I mean, you talked about stepping outside of your comfort zone in a certain sense, even with kind of putting it out there, like what you wanted and everything of that nature. Like, are you finding yourself almost putting yourself in those positions more often than not, like stepping outside of that comfort zone or being more confident in certain aspects? Like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. 1,000%. Manifestation is a real thing. You put yourself in places long before you're even there. You subconsciously put it there, and you tell yourself, and that was the difference of my past career and my career now, and that's where we're at. I've definitely learned how to use the mind more so just in toughness. It's more of that manifestation and everything, and it's a real thing, and people need to use it more often.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just cool to see the growth of the mentality and everything. I mean, a tremendous wealth of physical experience and whatnot, fighting in one championship in Bellator and BKFC now, but just cool to hear the growth of your mentality and how you're continuing to push and kind of drive that aspect. So, yeah, that must be exciting for you, man, and that's cool to hear from my end.
Yeah, man, if you're not growing, you're dying, and you always have to set goals for yourself, and I don't say obtainable goals, because most people, they try to shoot themselves in the foot. So you got to shoot. I have this saying, man, you got to shoot for the stars and you might land on the moon. But if you shoot for the moon, you'll never land on the stars. So that's what I'm doing, and that's what I'm envisioning. That's what everything's just lining up perfectly, So I'm going to go with it, and we're going to rock this, man.
Yeah, for sure. And it seems like you're wanting to get out there fairly soon. Like, is there an ideal turnaround time if you had your druthers? Like, is there a certain time you're eyeballing? Obviously, there's certain machinations with, like, your management with BKFC, etc., figuring out what card you could go on, etc. But, I mean, in an ideal world for you, like, when would you next compete in BKFC?
Man, I'm ready right now. I mean, my hand is a little sore, I'll be honest, but, maybe a month or so I would be totally fine for. I'll be ready. They call me, I'm going to be ready. I told them, I've been telling them, call me, I'm ready. Someone gets hurt, call me, I'm ready. I don't have to cut much weight at this weight, and I love it. If they needed me at 185, I'm down for that too, but I'm really comfortable at 175. I like it, and I don't got to cut much weight, and, I'm pretty big at that size too, honestly, so it's just, whenever they want me, call me, I'm ready, I'm their guy.
Yeah, I love that, man, and just such an exciting juncture in your career to get to, have a chat with you at, but I do want to be mindful of your time and let you, enjoy all the aspects of getting a big win like this. And also, I guess in saying that, Donald, I'm curious if maybe you have a final parting thought you'd like to add as we're kind of wrapping things up here, man.
I thank you for having me on, bro. I appreciate that. I love what I do. I'm out. Like I said, I'm a man on a mission, but more so, I definitely want to inspire other people to do what they're meant to do and believe in themselves, because you can come from nothing and go to something and make it even bigger. Don't let your head get too big, but just keep striving for better. That's all you can do. 1% better every day, and, you can be unstoppable. That's for damn sure.
That's a great message, and yeah, just an awesome way to end things off, man. Just, yeah, again, to reiterate, great performance against Noah Cutter. They're definitely an experienced bare knuckle veteran there, so a good feather in your cap at that BKFC Albuquerque card. And thanks so much for coming on Bare Knuckle Radio. You have a good rest of your day, man.
Hey, man, you too. Thanks for having me.